Hello, welcome to ACE Manager. Control focus, ACE level. How do controls appear in an organization? In my last 10 podcasts, you have seen how frauds, manipulations, and errors occur and how they could be minimized with the help of internal controls. In Shankar's story, performance reports like budget actual variance and an alert purchase manager helped in spotting the fraud. In Annamalai's story, you have seen how segregation of duties or compensating controls like cash verification by different individuals and prompt bank reconciliation are relevant and important. In Sumit's story, it was year-end account reconciliation that unearthed the manipulation. In Potane's story, we have seen how slackness in accounting procedures, reconciliations, and poor banking operations procedures enabled Futane claim multiple LTAs to which he was not entitled to. In the case of tissue rolls, poor material inward procedure prompted some store's employees to connive with a vendor to make money out of a long-established process. Only MIS reports had come to the rescue in this case. In A6, we have seen how spreadsheet usage could, without compensating controls, can cause huge cash outflow in the form of variable pay. Of course, Margaret's story is a classic case where we have seen even elaborately designed processes become vulnerable due to slackness in implementation and lack of segregation of duties that caused the financial misappropriation of this magnitude. In overseas travel claims, once again, elaborate procedure but permitting deviations and poor scrutiny of expense claims by the concerned assistant in the finance department has caused leakages. In controls relating to procurement function, you have seen the opportunity available to convert procurement function from a cost center to a profit center. I also shared with you how I introduced SIN control, SIN, security inward number control, quite effectively in different situations. All these stories tell us how internal controls are important. But how do internal controls appear in an organization? Take a pause and think for a few minutes. The answers are with you in all the stories shared with you. For the sake of ease of remembrance, I would like to describe internal controls as 6 P's, capital P. They are policies, processes, procedures, practices, people, and performance reports. In fact, I called them 5 P's earlier, but now I am adding performance reports to it because I see a lot of relevance for performance reports as well. Let us come to each of these P's. Policies are important means of communication from the organization to the external world as well as to internal stakeholders on its methods of conducting business. They are the first step towards achieving organizational objectives. Absence of relevant policies can be a control weakness. For example, if you are a large hotel chain operating multiple hotels, you need to have a proper discount policy, without which individual managers could use their discretion, which might be detrimental to the organization in some cases. Processes. Important examples of process are order to cash and purchase to pay. In the first case, you handle all transactions relating to receipt of a customer order, relevant manufacture if required, delivery, raising invoice, and collection of cash. In purchase to pay, we cover raising indent for a material or service by a user requesting the purchase function, inquiry sent by the purchase function, quotations from prospective vendors, finalizing the purchase order, receipt of materials or service, acknowledgement, receipt of vendor invoice, and payment. Good and robust processes are important for orderly and efficient conduct of business. We extend processes to procedures. Procedures are developed from process and serve as a guide or instruction to the operating people in executing transactions. Standard operating procedures are an important internal control. practices. The best policies, processes, and procedures, if not followed in practice, do not serve the purpose for which they are meant. We have seen that in the case of Margaret's story. Similarly, under IT procedures, protection of data and resources through restricted user passwords are important. But in real life, we see many people sharing their passwords with others as a matter of routine. People. The most important of all P's is people. I would suggest proper organization structure, roles, responsibilities, reporting relationships, segregation of duties as important controls. We have seen how a compromise in segregation of duties, not supplemented by compensating controls, failing to prevent frauds and manipulations. Finally, I come to performance reports. We could also call them management reports. Prerequisites for good, effective reports are authentic data from the source, organized methodologies to generate reports, and consistency in generating those reports. In our true stories, we have seen the role of relevant management reports. With this, I like to conclude my first chapter, Control Focus, under ACE Manager. Some of the aspects covered so far could appear more elaborately in my subsequent podcasts based on their relevance. Thank you very much for your attention. Let us move on.